Hello, everyone. In the previous lesson, we completed the design of the sound and light alarm circuit. In this lesson, we will make preparations for the soldering of the sound and light alarm circuit according to the schematic diagram. The preparations include obtaining information, making a plan, and implementing decisions. Through this lesson, we will understand the basic process of making the sound and light alarm circuit and master the essentials of circuit soldering. The teaching key point of this lesson is to learn how to detect the quality of the speaker and how to distinguish with a multimeter whether a transistor is NPN or PNP. An ancient saying goes, "He who fails to plan is planning to fail." It means that the implementation process can be well organized, targeted, and efficient only if the data and information about the relevant knowledge are fully acquired beforehand. Therefore, our first step is to acquire data and information. Understand the component list for this task, learn the methods for testing the components in the list, acquire knowledge about manual soldering, and become proficient in applying these skills. In the last project task, we learned 1. The tools that might be used for manual soldering. 2. The steps to measure resistance values with a multimeter. 3. Testing of components such as diodes and capacitors. 4. The basic principles to follow when installing and soldering components. 5. The hazards of static electricity and how to protect against it. 6. The requirements for forming the leads of components like resistors for horizontal installation. These topics still need to be reviewed and mastered in this project task. Before proceeding with the soldering for this project task, let's consider the following questions. 1. What components are used in the sound and light alarm circuit? 2. How to detect the quality of a speaker? 3. How to distinguish whether a transistor is NPN or PNP? 4. How to identify the type of transistors and their pin functions? According to the schematic diagram of the sound and light alarm circuit, this circuit includes resistors, diodes, NPN transistors, PNP transistors, capacitors, trimmer potentiometers, relays, and speakers. Next, we will list out the component inventory, as shown in the diagram. This circuit uses a speaker. How to detect its quality? 1. Set the multimeter dial to the resistance times 1 scale. 2. Touch the test leads to the terminals of the speaker. If you hear a distinct click sound, it indicates that the coil is not open-circuited. Observe where the needle stops. If the impedance is close to the nominal value, the speaker is in good condition. If the resistance is much lower than the nominal value, there might be a short in the voice coil. If the resistance is infinite, there might be an open in the voice coil. This circuit uses both PNP and NPN transistors. How to identify the type of transistors and their pin functions? The transistor model can be checked on the packaging of the transistor. By consulting the datasheet for the 9011 transistor, we know that the 9011 is an NPN transistor, and the component symbol along with pin functions are identified as shown in Figure 1. By consulting the datasheet for the 9012 transistor, we know that the 9012 is a PNP transistor, and the component symbol along with pin functions are identified as shown in Figure 2. The pin functions of other transistor models can be looked up using the above method. How can one use a multimeter to determine the type of transistor? 1. Identify the base by reversing 3 times. Set the multimeter dial to the resistance times 1000 scale, and measure the forward and reverse resistances between each pair of transistor pins. Among them, there will be a pair of pins where both the forward and reverse resistance values are high. The pin that remains unmeasured is the base of the transistor. 2. Determine the type by PN junction. Place the black probe of the multimeter on the base, and touch the red probe to either of the other two pins. If the multimeter needle swings widely, the transistor is an NPN type. If the multimeter needle swings only slightly, the transistor is a PNP type. Having completed the study of information related to the sound and light alarm circuit, we move on to the second step, developing a work plan. Through the study of the above content, we have gained a general understanding of component testing and soldering precautions during task implementation. Next, we will fill out a work plan based on the basic principles of component installation and soldering. The content includes preparing a checklist, work safety, work quality, environmental protection, working hours, etc. The work plan can help us further organize our thoughts and improve work efficiency. Next, we start the third step, decision implementation. After discussions with classmates and teachers, we determine the final work plan and begin component installation and soldering. In this lesson, we mainly discussed 1. How to test the quality of a speaker. 2. How to distinguish with a multimeter whether a transistor is NPN or PNP. That's the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching.